Good morning, students. Welcome to our session where we will be discussing these points. We have started this rotational motion. Okay. Now, I am trying to cover all the topics in the mechanics part. Okay. Mechanics is as a constitute of a conglomeration of some 6-7 chapters are there. So it is better we complete all of them in one shot, so that one full set mechanics is over. We have covered already many topics: kinematics, motion in a straight line, motion in a plane, laws of motion, center of mass. So we are starting with the rotational motion also. So yesterday you have seen the basic one video. So when we talk about rotational motion, we talk about angular speeds, angular velocities, angular displacements, all these things. Now, let us say we have seen one type of question. Now, let us say in some question, angular speed is given as a function of time. 2t square minus 4t plus 7. It is given like this. Okay. And find the angular acceleration. Find the angular acceleration at t is equal to 3 seconds. You have to find alpha at t is equal to 3 seconds. And doing the simple questions. Omega is given to you. It is a time varying function. You have to find alpha. I told you use calculus. So how you get alpha? You get alpha d omega by dt. First find out this. What is the question? Angular velocity as a function is given. As a time varying function is given. This is a variable angular speed. It is not a constant angular speed. You put t is equal to 1 value, you get something. You put t is equal to 5, you get something. So that circular motion what we were talking about, if you have to understand, here we are writing omega, isn't it? So this omega, if it is constant, it is a uniform circular motion. But here what is happening? At t is equal to 1, some omega is there. At t is equal to 2, some another omega is there. So that type of question. These are simple questions only. There, if they ask you angular acceleration, differentiate it. So differentiation of 2t square, it is 2 into d by dt of t square, it is 2t. So anyone knew d by dx of x power n is equal to n into x power n minus 1. For bio students I am waiting. Okay, just this formula is enough to solve it. Okay, 2 into 2t minus 4 into d by dt of t. It is 4 into 1, and this is constant, so it is 0. d by dt of a constant, differentiation of a constant is 0. So what you got? You got 4t minus 4. This is the value of alpha. But what is asking you at t is equal to 3, what is the alpha value? So put t is equal to 3. Where? Here, not here. If you put t is equal to 3, you get omega value. But in the question they are asking you what is the alpha value. Put t is equal to 3 here. You get alpha is equal to 4 into 3 minus 4. 12 minus 4, 8 radians per second to the power of minus 2. Radians second to the power of minus 2. In some other question, let us say alpha value is given. Angular acceleration alpha is given. And this time 2t cube minus 8t plus 4. This time what is given? Alpha value is given. And what you are supposed to find out? You are supposed to find out, in the question it is asked that find omega. Find the expression for omega. Okay? Find the expression for omega. Given that initial omega value was 0. Okay? See, the circular motion is happening like this. Initially it will start from rest only, no? Then it will pick up some omega. Okay? So the condition given is like this. Initial omega is 0. Initial angular velocity was no angular velocity. And you have to find an expression for omega. How do you get it? You have to think in the terms of calculus only. This is also time varying. And this mention here, time varying. Mathematically, you are just given alpha as a function of time. Alpha as a function of time. So whenever you see this this type of function of time type of questions, you think about calculus. Now one student asked me, sir, when do I know I should use differentiation or integration? My answer would be, you have to see what you are trying to find out. Here what you are trying to find out? Here you are trying to find out alpha. So how you will get alpha? You can get alpha only by differentiating. Now here what you are trying to find out? Omega. So the equation is here also the same equation. Alpha is equal to d omega by dt only. It is not going to change. But what are you trying to find out? Here you are trying to find out omega. So can I write d omega is equal to alpha dt? Now ask yourself, I have an expression for d omega. How would I get omega? I must integrate. Okay? So when I integrate, I need to put the boundaries. So omega is variable here from 0 to omega. Here, what is the boundary? At omega 0, it is time. Here t is the variable. It is from 0 to t. That means at t time, omega was the speed. At the 0 time, 0 was the speed. Okay? Simple terms I am telling you. Just calculate. So this will become what? Omega. Between the boundaries, omega and 0. So you can write omega minus 0. Now expand this. What is alpha? Alpha is given in the question as this: 2t cube minus 8t plus 4. Back pain is coming out. Just a minute. Back pain. So just calculate this from 0 to t and you have to integrate it. Again I am putting the integration formula here. In the last class also I told, integration of x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Most of the times in physics you are going to use either this formula or this formula. Most of the times. I am not saying all the times, but most of the times. So remember that formula very well and put it over here. Using that formula, t power 3 to t power 4 by 4, right, minus 8. So it will become t square by 2 plus 4 dt. 4 dt will become 4t. So what are we supposed to do now? From 0 to t, you have to put the upper boundary and the lower boundary. Okay. Suppose in the question they had asked you, find at t is equal to 1, what was the angular speed? So your answer would have been omega at t is equal to 1. You have to just put the value of t is equal to 1 in this, not here. If you put t is equal to 1 here, you will get alpha. But what did they ask you? They asked you omega. Right? So just this will become t power 4 by 2, and the bracket should be here, and this is minus 4p square, and this is 4p. Right? In this expression, you put t is equal to 1. You get what? 1 by 2 minus 4 plus 4. So these two cancel. You got 1 by 2 radian per seconds. 1 by 2 radians per seconds. Okay? I hope I have been clear with this simple example how to calculate the omega and alpha values when a time varying function is provided to you. Take a screenshot and write it down. Just a minute. So let us move on to the next concept. Now we will move on to an important concept. We have discussed this now I'm putting a term called torque. Students, very important topic. Okay. Now, torque can be talked about like a moment of a force. Please hear very, very carefully what I am saying right now. Torque can be talked about like a moment of a force. Can be talked about like a moment of force. Moment of a force we have already discussed in our previous classes. Moment of a force, I told you that if there is a, let us say, this is a scale or a bar, and there is a point over here, there is a force applied here, then force into distance, force into perpendicular distance, I have told you that that is the moment of a force. Torque also is a moment of a force, but there is a difference. In this situation, see, it is trying to rotate. Given a chance, it will try to rotate this bar. It is creating a tendency to rotate. That is the moment of force. But this force is mostly static. It's going to stay there like that. But what is a moment of a, what is torque then? Okay. Now, if you see a circular motion, let us say there is a mass. Okay. Now this mass is rotating around the circle. So mass is there means obviously the mass has it is going with a force, let us say. Okay. So after some time this force is here, this mass is here. So it is rotating around in a, just a minute, rotating around in a, so when this let us say there is a mass which is rotating round about this point, fixed point. So every time it is undergoing some force, it is undergoing some, because the mass is moving with, the mass is moving means it is undergoing some acceleration. Okay, it will be having two types of acceleration. We will see that when we are discussing circular motion. But basically this, it is being subjected to force which is dynamic in nature. Okay, it is dynamic in nature. Here, the point about which it is rotating, let us say this point O. So force multiplied by perpendicular distance. This is called here torque. It is denoted by a Greek symbol tau. Tau is defined as, tau is a vector. Tau vector is defined as r cross f. Okay. I am trying to tell this from the point of moment of force, because many times moment of force, torque, they look very synonymous. But the slight difference, what I understand is, this type of a situation is basically for the static forces. Okay. But if a particle is moving in a if a particle is rotating about a point, now mind you, this rotation need not be circular. The particle may be rotating in an elliptical path also. It may be rotating in an elliptical path also. It may be rotating in some other fashion also. It is creating a tendency to rotate. Okay? This force is doing what? There is a particle over here. It is creating a tendency to rotate about a point. So that force multiplied by the perpendicular distance is what is defined as torque. But torque basically is a vector. Torque is a vector. So torque is defined as the cross product of the radial vector and the force vector. Okay, and this order is very much important. You cannot write F into R, F cross R. It is R cross F. It has to start from the R vector. Okay, so first R vector should be written. If you write F cross R, you should put a minus. Okay, so this is what it is. This is some more points on this topic. So torque basically is defined as what? R cross F, where R is the radial vector. So let us understand this with a small sketch. Okay. Students, now here very carefully. Here I have drawn a situation that there is some point P. There is a point P in a plane. Alright. Now there is a point Q whose position from P is given by the R vector. If you take P as the origin, obviously Q will have some coordinate 1, 2, 3. So it can be expressed as a position vector, right? Now what are we trying to do? There is a force F. F vector is acting over here at this point Q. So we are trying to find out the torque generated because of this force about this point. Okay. For calculation purpose, torque and moment of a force you can consider both as same only for calculation purpose. But because torque is a vector, we have to take the force and multiply with the least distance between the P point and the force line. Believe me, this is called the line of force. Alright, you can simply extend this vector backward, forward like this. So this is the line of force. So from this point, you have to find out the minimum distance between this line of force and this point P. So this is your minimum distance. Minimum distance between any two, between a point and the line is always the perpendicular distance. Okay. Suppose there is a line like this. Okay. You have taken a point P. If I ask you what is the minimum distance from point P towards this line L, it has to be the perpendicular distance, because infinite distances can be possible. Infinite distances can be possible. But how is the definition? You have to take the point P and you have to find the minimum distance. Let us say this minimum distance is 5 centimeter. Obviously this will be more. This will be some 6, this will be 7, this will be 8. So if I take some other distance, there are numerous possibilities of it. I can take a billion possibilities. But minimum distance is always 1. Minimum distance is always 1. So apart from, let us say this is your R vector. So R vector ka line kaun sa hai? This is my R vector line. So this is force vector, this is R vector. So the angle between them is theta. If this is theta, then this is theta. This is 90 degree. What will be this? This will be R sin theta. This becomes the hypotenuse. This becomes the opposite side. Opposite by hypotenuse will be sin theta. Simple trigonometry. So this is R sin theta. So how we have defined this? We have defined torque as, you can, for calculation purpose, you can assume that it's a moment of a force only. The force multiplied by the distance. So it is Fr sin theta. But from the vector calculations, we know that if anything expressed as Fr sin theta, is AB sin theta, you can write as torque vector is equal to R cross F. Why R cross F? You have to start reading from the R, the angle, not the other way. Because in vectors, A cross B is not equal to B cross A. Remember, A cross B is basically minus B cross A. Why so? We will discuss now. Remember, torque is a vector. R and F also is a vector. When you multiply these two, you get another vector which is torque here. So that must have some direction. Till now we are discussing only the magnitude part. Here R cross F we will do. R vector is given, F vector is given. We have taken the cross product, we will get the magnitude. But what about direction? So for direction, we use right hand thumb rule. We use what? Right hand thumb rule. So it is like this. You see here, XY is a plane. This jet, you know, it is not like this as shown in the blackboard. Since I cannot show something which is perpendicular to the blackboard, I have written like this. Now you are getting to 3-dimensional environment. Okay. So how to go with the right hand thumb rule means, you can take your right hand, okay, and you need to curl your finger. You have to identify in which plane this F and R vectors are. Let us say you have to identify in which plane F and R vectors are. So how do I identify in which plane R and F vectors are? That means put a paper. अभी देखो, this is y, this is x. Let us say F R are in the xy plane. See, if you take a room will have a floor. That floor you call it as x and y. So what will be the wall height? It will be z. It will be z. So imagine you are in a floor and this F and R are on the floor. Okay. So F vector, R vector are in which plane? XY plane. So this torque vector, the new vector, will be pointed towards the thumb, means perpendicular to XY plane. That means this torque will be in Z plane. In fact, it will be like this, torque vector direction. How? What you are supposed to do is, you imagine a paper on which this R and F you are able to draw. Okay. Now take your right hand, curl your fingers. Curl your fingers means fingers को मोड़ो, कहां से कहां तक? R से F की तरफ, ऐसे. ये राइट हैंड पकड़ो, R से F कैसे मुड़ रहा है? See, you can curl your fingers like this. It is what direction? Anti-clockwise direction, right? In this case, it is anti-clockwise direction. So curl your fingers. So this thumb is pointing the torque direction. So here, this R and F, they are in XY plane. Why I am saying it is XY plane? This F vector, let us say it is parallel to X line here. Alright? So it is in XY plane. ये इस वाले plane में है. You need to imagine. तो इस पे जो torque लगेगा, वो इसको perpendicular होगा. Perpendicular to the board, which you cannot see in a two-dimensional board. Okay? Again, I am repeating. You have to take your fingers, curl it from R to F. So this is R, this is F. So if you do like this only, you will be able to curl your fingers. This curling of fingers should represent the angle between these two. Then obviously your thumb will indicate the direction of torque. Okay? So torque here will be in the Z direction. If I say that if you take the floor, on the floor F vector and R vector are there. So how will be the torque direction? Perpendicular to the floor. Just try to imagine. Okay. So what happens if I write F cross R? F cross R लिखूंगा तो मेरा डायरेक्शन उल्टा हो जाएगा. मेरा डायरेक्शन उल्टा हो जाएगा. If I write F cross, if I write first F and then R, what will happen? Instead of theta, I have to take some other angle. Angle always should be considered from starting from R vector towards F vector. Then only you get the correct direction of the torque. So this one point you should remember. This is about torque, no torque. See, the point which I want to tell you is, suppose there is a circular motion happening. There is a mass which is rotating in a circular fashion about a point. If this particle has to rotate rotate about this point, I will not say that rotation is only circular. It is some sort of rotation. Okay. If it has to rotate, it means that torque is definitely not zero. So a particle to have a rotational motion, what is the condition? The torque must not be equal to zero. It should have some torque. You look at your fan, the fan is rotating. It is having some torque. That is why the fan is rotating. Without torque, no question of any rotation. Okay? We can use this as a condition also, I will tell you. But the significance of torque. Okay? So some particle is there, it is exerting some force. You can take about a particular point. And let me tell you, the point need not be this point only. You can take some other point also. You can say that it is rotating about this point. See, here there are 2 points. This is O and this is O dash. If you calculate torque about O, it will be some different value. Why? The force is same, but the distance is different. If you take about O dash, the torque will be something else, because the distance is changing. Either the distance should change or the force should change. The torque will change. Torque is dependent upon R and F. If you are changing R, torque value is changing. If you change F, the torque value is changing. The torque value not changing means what? R and F were constant. It happens in circular motion. It happens in a circular motion. Okay. Now, for an object to rotate about a point, you can take any point. You have to calculate the torque, and you have to check if the torque is not equal to 0, then only it will do. Otherwise, it will not do. Okay. This point you should be very clear about. So, like we have discussed in the moment of a force, you have an anti-clockwise torque, you have a clockwise torque. Okay, you remember when I was discussing this moment of a force, I take a point, and if I take a force like this and some distance d, so above this point, how is the sense? How is the sense? कैसा फील हो रहा है? कैसा फील हो रहा है? ये क्या कर रहा है? ये ऐसे घुमाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, घुमाने की कोशिश कर रहा है. तो यहाँ पे हमने क्या बोला इसको? इसको हमने क्लॉक से कंपेयर किया. We have compared this with the clock, and this is clockwise. Clockwise हम बोलेंगे minus. Suppose some other situation was there where it was like this. Similarly, in the case of torque also, we take clockwise torques as negative and anti-clockwise torques as positive. So suppose someone comes and says, why I have to consider anti-clockwise as positive, I will consider negative. It is a common sign convention we are trying to follow. We all walk in the left of the road. If we are talking about India, somebody comes and says, I will walk in the right of the road, I will walk in the middle of the road. We are following some rules, we are following some system. So clockwise torques negative. Okay, remember this point. And okay. Let's move on to the next point. Acha, one very important point. See, while calculating the moment of a force, I took this example, right? The force was applied here. So can I, if I talk about torque here, I can calculate about this point. I can calculate about this point. I can calculate about this point. I can calculate about this point also. So what is the torque here? See, above that point it will be 0, isn't it? Because torque is equal to R multiplied by F. Okay. If I talk about the magnitude part only, so R means what? The distance between the point to the force. When the point and the force, they are both matching, the torque will be equal to 0. Okay. So torque will come into picture only when there is some distance. If there is no distance, simply the force will not create a torque. The force multiplied by the distance, the rotational ability, that is what is creating torque. Okay. So this point also you make a note of. Now, moving on to alright. So next concept, moment of a couple. Here carefully, all these are very important concepts. Let us say you have a situation like this. There is a force here and there is a force here. From here to the condition, they must be equal and opposite. They must be equal and opposite. So you take a point in between, some point. So what is these? These are both parallel forces. What are these forces trying to do? They are trying to rotate this bar, isn't it? They are trying to rotate. कैसे rotate कर रहे हैं? ऐसे rotate कर रहे हैं ना? They are trying to rotate in this way. So this is called moment of a couple. Couple means two forces. Which type of forces? Parallel, equal and opposite. Equal and opposite. So how to find the moment of a couple? How to find the moment of a couple? I will take some point in between O and we will find the moment of a couple. So क्या करना है? So let us say some point O is there. Let us say this distance is L1, this distance is L2, okay, and this total distance is L. I am trying to find moment of a couple. So what am I supposed to do? I have to find moment because of these two forces about this point O. I have to find moment about O. So moment about O is equal to, let us say the moment because of this force is M1, and let us say moment about this force is M2. I told this point very clearly. You have to, when you are calculating about a particular point, you have to calculate all the moments and you have to add them. You have to calculate all the moments and you have to add them. So what are you going to get? M1, force multiplied by the perpendicular distance, F into L1. Isn't it? What is the sense? Clockwise. So plus minus chodo, we are just doing the derivation part. So this is clockwise. So technically it is, minus. Now talk about M2. M2 also is clockwise. M2 is also trying to rotate about this point in a clockwise fashion. So both are here minus only. So that minus we have not taken. F into L2. What is M2? Moment of a force about point O. Which distance we have to put? We have to put this distance only. It is F into L2. F is common. What did you get? F into L1 plus L2 or F into L. So what is the meaning of this? How do I find the moment of a couple? Take any force. Take any force. Multiply with the distance between those two forces. Multiply with the distance between those two forces. Let me tell you, instead of O, if you take the point here, if you point here, anywhere you take, the moment of a couple will never change. The moment of a couple will never change. Okay? So it is like this. You took a bar like this. Let us say you apply 10 Newton force over here. You put 10 Newton force over here. Okay? And the distance between them is 1 meter. Let us say. So what is the moment of a couple? I will write it as M. Take any of the forces. Take 10 and multiply by the distance between them. It is 1 meter. So it is 10 force multiplied by distance Newton meter units. Now if you take the point here, you take the point here, you take the point here, anywhere on the line, the moment value won't change. The moment value won't change. So this is about the moment of a couple. Couple means two forces which are parallel and opposite. Okay? Shall discuss some more points tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye bye.